I'd be curious if there's something from that perspective of doing like waves of bounds or depth jumps or anything like that that
Yeah.
you might do
Yeah,
as well.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah. So I do kind of a couple different ways. I might do it could be you could apply this to bounding or to depth jumps. Those are kind of easy examples, but I'll just focus on depth jumps since probably more people that listen to this
Yeah.
podcast are going to do depth jumps than bounding, right? And um, so yeah, like typically I always think in terms of like speed, force, power, like applying that paradigm to kind of any neural activity. And so once again, you're always thinking about transfer and try to how to get faster ground contacts or well, I mean, you could fake a fast ground contact in a depth jump. You want to keep the height as well, right? And so it's always a delicate balance there. But yeah, typically like maybe early in the year when we start depth jumps, it's just like we'll say for women, it's a 12-inch on to 12-inch double leg. And then maybe eventually that becomes 15 to 15, and then 18 to 18, then 24 to 24. But then I'll start to think, okay, now they've been exposed to 24 to 24, which is pretty darn high force, like very high. But now I got to start thinking about how can I get this big force to transfer to quicker ground contact. So then I might go to an 18 down to 24, or maybe I'll complex a few 24 to 24 with the 18 to 24. Or maybe I'll do go back down to 18 to 18 and I'll throw a weight vest on them, or I'll give
Yeah.
them two dumbbells and I'll do a complex of some sort. So I always think there's nuances to that, and that's been extremely effective to me. Like maybe I'm jumping ahead here, but you had asked about like a lot of things that I measure, like in the questions you sent, like things that I measure in the weight room. And fortunately, we have endless technology here at Louisville. We have too much technology to where you could like go nuts like measuring things. And so I almost have to like be careful about like how much I measure. Otherwise, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go insane, you know? And so
Sure.
but we have Hawkins force plates in the weight room, which have been super cool to look at. And so we did it last year and we've done it this year. We measure a single leg depth jump with every single week with all the jumpers. And so it's been cool to measure. And the only thing I really look at is ground contact time and the height of the jump. I do look at braking phase. I do look at peak propulsive power, sort of like I kind of eye it. But really, I'm just looking at the ground contact and the height of the jump, I think are the main things. RSI, I feel like, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of RSI because you could get a great RSI and go this high off the ground. So I'm kind of like, okay, how
Oh yeah, that's how I get
valuable
a
is
good
it?
one. Just pin like a pinhead of a ground contact, and
Yeah,
you're
right. Yeah.
exactly
And like, oh man, you just got a 4.0 RSI. That's unbelievable. You're gonna jump 29 feet now. It's like, I don't know about that. Yeah. So but I mean it's the quick ground contact time with the vertical displacement. That's what I'm looking for. And I have like, I kind of went through a lot of those depth jump progressions that I've just mentioned. I didn't give the exact format, but something along those lines. And it was cool to see just like maybe a month ago, uh like Sinclair is our top long jumper. She just jumped a very slightly windy 661 on Saturday. And so her ground contact times on this depth jump test started going from like she was typically like 0.26, 0.27, maybe a 0.25 here and there. Which I know sounds long because the long jump takeoff is just typically 0.15, 0.16, but I can't get a depth jump to be that fast. I just can't.
yeah,
And so
yeah, very
um,
difficult.
it's not yeah, I haven't been, but recently, after we had gone through a lot of these depth jump progressions, and we had actually moved into single leg depth jumps for quite a while now and done some like weighted stuff as well. All of a sudden it started dropping down to 0.22 just in the past month. And we also saw a pairing with the velocity on her hang cleans have been going up too. And so you kind of felt like, ooh, I think we might be close here, and then she jumped 643 and 58 degrees 2 weeks ago in California, and then 661 this week. And so it is kind of cool to be able to measure those things and track that.